which was huge. If you and which was to the election observation group, for example, and which is a conglomerate of NGOs, including church organizations and the like. So, if you take all that out, what is it that we would do vis-a-vis civil society? We think that in our countries, as in Kenya and other countries, civil society has an important role to play. And I actually think that Kenyans can be proud of the way in which they tolerate the freedom that the media enjoy, particularly the written media. It's not always easy for a politician to be depicted in cartoons or in the press in given ways. And I frankly think that there's a lot of tolerance being shown. Now, I'm not going to go into the media bill because that's an issue that is before the Parliament and is being discussed. I think it's important that these issues get a proper airing in line with the rights that the Constitution grants, of course. They need to be protected. We do not in any which way impose an agenda on civil society. We believe that civil society has a role to play, human rights defenders, the protection of, and you need to have groups out there that are telling you, hey, hold on, why has this happened? Should we not? That helps to create awareness among disadvantaged groups, be it women, children, handicapped people, of the rights they actually have. And therefore they deserve support. It's important. But they do not deserve support that comes with an agenda. And we would not be allowed in any which way under our system to impose an agenda. It's not it.
What's your reaction to the huge presence of China during the past few years to Africa, in terms of your relationship with Africa, European Union, and the Chinese presence?
It's a very exciting and topical subject. I think that China, frankly, has been doing wonderful work in Kenya and well beyond. We welcome China's involvement. China is a strategic partner of the European Union. I'm in close contact, for example, with my colleague, EU head of delegation to Beijing. We are not afraid of competition with China. And it may very well be that we will soon be outnumbered in terms of imports from into Africa, into Kenya, by China. Even the EU at 28 member states. China has its interests. What I think would be good if China would also import more from Kenya, because frankly we import 25-26% of Kenya's total exports. The percentage for China is below 1%.
But you talked about counterfeit. A lot of counterfeit is Chinese in this country. We have, for instance, you go and buy a Nokia mobile phone and it's called Nokia. But when you buy...
I'm not going to be drawn on where counterfeit products come from.
You talk about them.
If you ask me whether we believe that China, India, Brazil have important roles to play, the answer is an absolute yes. They have a very important role to play. They are important partners, and we welcome.
But they
the world is becoming smaller with the day. Excuse me?
If they apply different standards of operation,
well,
I cannot expect to get any fake product from European countries.
Let me turn that around.
Yes.
We are not an easy partner as European Union. Why? Because we are a value-based organization.
Yeah.
So we have that little wagging finger that I'm occasionally getting sick and tired of. We are perceived to say, but please, remember the rule of law, remember the Constitution. It's important to say that. It's important to say it in Europe as well. But I don't want to be out there as EU ambassador wagging the finger. Our relationship with Kenya is more important than that. It's as simple as that.
Right. Perhaps just to wind it up, a lot of people are asking, so what about the Miraa business? Do you have a policy? What's happening when it comes to the Miraa business?
Listen,
I
Miraa
come
was...
from a Miraa place.
No, I got the impression. No, listen. Miraa was exported in large quantities from the European Union, particularly as a decorative plant to combine in the building of flower bouquets. So not necessarily as Miraa, as a product that you would chew. The market for cat, for Miraa, has actually been growing, particularly because of increasing demand among the Somali and Yemeni communities in the European Union. Now, whether a product is deemed to be a drug is up to the individual member states. And frankly, it's a difficult one. I can buy alcohol freely. In Holland, I can buy a spliff freely. But I cannot buy cat. Miraa. Does it make sense? You know, I prefer not to be drawn, but my impression is it may not always make sense. There where there is a national authority that deems that Miraa is increasingly being used for drug, as a drug, then that member state has the right to say, excuse us. In the European Union, you have around about 15 member states which have banned, and some 10 that still allow import of cat, and pretty much unlimited. The question whether cat or whether Miraa is an innocent drug or not, it has physiological effects. It gives you an up, followed by a downer. Coffee may do the same. A glass of alcohol does the same, as we know. So it's a difficult subject, and one where we need to keep talking. It's quite important that we need to keep talking.
All right. Many thanks indeed, of course, talking to the European Union Ambassador, that is Lodewijk Briet. It's been a great honor indeed serving you here on the Power Breakfast Show. Thank you so much. My name is Johnson Mwakazi.
I'm Cheng Joe.
And of course, Ambassador there. All right, so let's meet next week as God wills. All the best.